Crash Max. Huh.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Godspeed ZRZ. Today I want to go over something I've got more questions about than anything here recently. Now, as many of you guys know that actually follow the channel, I picked up this Grand Cherokee a little while back, maybe a couple months ago, and I've really just been trying to get to know it so far. Just to give you an idea of what this is, it's a 2023 Grand Cherokee standard length with the 3.6 liter. It is the limited package with the black appearance, so you'll see a lot of that aggressive styling in terms of just the blackout package. But today I'm going to tell you guys why I think this might just be the best SUV to buy for 2023. Now, just to start off with the basics, in terms of the exterior here, of course, I already mentioned this is the limited standard length. Now, this does have the black appearance package on it, as you can probably already tell. And with that, you have a lot of really cool, awesome trim pieces that are just going to be blacked out. You've also got the black 20-inch wheels. Now, one thing you're really going to notice on the new body style is these aggressive lines. The new body style is way more aggressive. It really makes it stand out and actually blend in with the new industry standard. Whenever you see one of these going down the road, if you don't know what it is, you're trying to find out, because it just looks completely new and a whole lot different. You'll also see with the black appearance package, you've got all these blacked out trim pieces, and it's really through and through. So with this, you're not going to find any chrome accents or anything like that, maybe aside from the actual lug nuts. And then once you go back here, you'll even see they went as far as blacking out the actual badges for Jeep, for the 4x4, as well as the actual limited badge, which is really cool. You can also see for the new body style, you do have these new style taillights. These LED taillights are absolutely awesome and they look really, really good. I love the new design of them, and they're actually extremely bright. The reverse lights on these work really well too. Now, a really big selling point for me on really any vehicle is obviously it being domestic. So I love domestic vehicles, love supporting America like many of us do, but really and truly just the extra design elements that they throw in for cars like this is awesome. You can see it has the American flag on both sides, and you've also got the blacked out Grand Cherokee badge, which I believe in 2023, Jeep started doing that on many of their different vehicles. So you'll see those American flags on both sides, which is really cool. Now, one thing I've definitely got to point out is if you want the blackout package, I 100% recommend it, especially for the price. Whenever you get the limited, which is already equipped extremely well in terms of interior features, safety features, you've got the full leather on the inside, heated seats in the front and the back. You've also got that 10.1-inch display, and then you can also get the Alpine sound system, which this one has. Aside from that, you've got the blind spot monitors, adaptive cruise control, everything we've become accustomed to in this new age of cars. But if you want to get the blackout package, you don't have to get all black. If you don't have the time to clean your car, like honestly I don't, then having the full black is going to be really hard. For me, I like to have my cars as clean as I can, of course, but with this black, it's been extremely hard to keep it clean so far, like any black vehicle is. But that's just one thing to keep in mind. Whenever they are clean, they are one of the best looking rods on the road. But whenever you've got a black vehicle that's dirty, it looks pretty rough. For around $50,000 for this size of an SUV with a tried and true engine transmission setup that not many manufacturers can honestly say now. Since a lot of the manufacturers have been trying to find some more eco-friendly alternatives that are a little bit better on fuel economy, many manufacturers have ran into big issues. So a lot of the engines and transmissions you've seen in current models are not really tried and true. That's not the case for the 3.6 liter. For the 3.6 liter V6, it's been around since I believe 2011, 2012. And in that time frame, they've really had enough time to get out all the bugs and figure out what works and what doesn't. Now, one of the best things that does work with the 3.6 liter is that 8-speed automatic transmission. I've had that transmission in a few different vehicles. Now, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, they put it in pretty much all their products that I can think of. Basically anything that uses the 3.6 liter is going to see that 8-speed, also the 5.7, and then different variations for it for the 6.4, even the 6.2 liter supercharged motor. A different variation of the 8-speed with a similar design is actually used in all of them. So having a tried and true engine transmission is something that's really important to me. That way you really don't have to have any concerns or issues going down the road. And whenever something does come up for warranties, something like that, you don't really have to have as many worries with Jeep as you do a lot of other manufacturers. With a lot of other manufacturers, if you don't have every oil change service done at the actual dealership or at that manufacturer's dealership, then they're going to raise some red flags if you do have a warranty claim come up in the future. So for Jeep, they're pretty lenient, and they honestly give you as much freedom as any manufacturer in the entire industry, and they produce a really good product. Now with these, you do have the 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty, as well as the 3-year 36,000 mile full bumper to bumper technology warranty. Now with that, a lot of manufacturers now are going to a 10-year 100,000 mile powertrain warranty to cover the engine transmission. They'll also have a 5-year 60,000 mile mechanical warranty, which basically covers anything underneath the car. Anything that's internally lubricated or mechanically driven is going to be covered under that 560. And then you've also got a 3-year 36,000 mile on a lot of these other manufacturers, same way as this. And more times than not, if manufacturers are throwing out a 10-year 100,000 mile warranty, they'll just leave it at that and kind of want the customer to have the expectation that they're going to have the bumper to bumper for that time frame, but they never do. And if they're going to have a 10-year 100,000 mile warranty, they're almost every single time going to be extremely aggressive on how you actually get your oil changes and service work done. If you don't do it exactly the way they recommend, then if you have a warranty issue down the road and you've got your oil change done at Valvoline, or if you got it done at a simple and quick lube, then you might be running into some issues. Now, just to move on to the interior here, as I do know how important features are in this modern world of the automotive industry. As you can see here, it's got an amazing gauge cluster, and it's all LCD, so you can display pretty much anything you want, and you can control everything with all your buttons right here. You've also got the new 10.1 inch display here on the inside, which is really nice, and it does have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay wireless capability, so as long as you get it to function correctly, it is nice and really easy to use. You've also got all your buttons up top here for your auto stop start, your lane departure, traction control, hazard lights, as well as your park sensors. Once you move down here, you're going to see all of your different controls for your heated seats, your volume, your actual tuner scroller. You're going to see the climate control buttons, which you do have real buttons for. Then you'll also see your input for your USB-C, standard USB, and the cigarette lighter outlet. Then you'll see right here, you do have the turn knob for your actual gear control. Then you've got your mode selector right there for sand, mud, snow, auto, and sport, which work actually pretty well. Then you'll see right here, also for your steering wheel, you actually have paddle shifters, which is always something really nice to have paired with this 8-speed automatic transmission. Like I said before, I've had it in a few different vehicles and I absolutely love it in pretty much all of them. It really keeps that 3.6 alive without needing any turbocharger, supercharger, anything like that. So for a naturally aspirated motor, it actually pairs everything up and works perfect. Then of course you'll see you've got your leather wrap steering wheel, and for the Limited you do have this simulated wood trim, and it goes along the sides right here too. You've got your memory seats right there, which is always something really nice to have. Then you've got your controls for the actual gauge brightness and also your light controls and your fog lights. You've also got a park brake lever right there as well, which is obviously electric. Once you get into the Limited, I guess it may be like this in the Laredo package as well. You do have this leather stitched up here, and the stitching actually looks really good, and then it carries throughout the interior. You've also got in this one the Alpine sound system, which sounds really good. Plenty of bass with the subwoofer in the back, which is something really nice to have. And then for this one, of course, you'll see you've got a bench seat in the back. Of course, where it's not the L, you don't have the third row. But for this one, it is the standard 2-row, and you do have the heated seats back there as well. Another thing that's usually pretty important if you're looking for one of these to actually use it for a family hauler, you do have the air vents in the back as well. You don't have full adjustability in terms of the climate control, but of course you can turn the vents on and off and adjust them up and down. But you do have the heated seat controls right there, and obviously some inputs there as well. Now, for me specifically, the actual drivability of these machines is really something that comes into play, especially whenever you buy a vehicle like this. It's mainly going to be used for road trips, hauling the family around, something like that. So not only is it extremely safe, made by a manufacturer that's been in the business for an extremely long time, that basically gives you the most freedom in the industry that you can possibly ask for in terms of customization or any little modifications you want to make to your vehicle, unless it directly affects the issue that's caused, you know, for a warranty claim or something like that. Jeep's pretty good about honoring basically anything that's going to mess up. So it gives me a lot of confidence, especially for the things I plan to do to this vehicle, just like I do to basically everything else. Now, once you actually get these vehicles out on the road noise is actually really quiet. I'm sure they've added quite a bit more sound deadening than they did in the last body style, and it's really made itself evident whenever you get on the highway. Now, inevitably, in a boxier style car, especially one of this size, you're going to run into some wind noise and things like that, but really and truly, it's as minimal as possible in this machine, and I've been pretty impressed with it so far. Now, of course, this one is all-wheel drive, and you don't have a selector or anything like that you would have in maybe an Overland or in a Trailhawk, but you do have your different selectors we already went over, and with those selectors, you can change what kind of terrain you're going through, but this is an automatic four-wheel drive system, so it kicks in when needed. Honestly, I don't know if this thing, I'll end up taking it off-road in trails or not. We've got the Rubicon 392 for that, but that would be something that would be a lot of fun. So if you guys are interested in it, let me know, and we may just take this thing off-road. Now, in terms of fuel economy, with these, obviously, that's going to be something that comes into play. Typically, with the 3.6 liter motor, you can expect anywhere from 17 to maybe 20 miles a gallon, depending on where you're driving. For this one, it basically just gets driven around town all the time. So right now, it's at 16.6 miles a gallon. It's just stop-go traffic, nothing really too far. It doesn't really get on the highway that often either, so it doesn't really get a chance to stretch its legs and get to that fuel economy that's promised on the window sticker. But more times than not, I never really see that fuel economy. Now, of course, this vehicle, just like any other vehicle from any manufacturer, has its own list of downfalls and shortcomings. So far, just to tell you what I've ran into, the garage door openers will not program. That's something I need to take back to the dealership so they can look over that. The wireless Android Auto Apple CarPlay has been a little bit finicky, only twice, so not really a big deal. I thought it may be my phone. I didn't know if it was, but I have heard other people having a similar issue. Now, honestly, the biggest pet peeve that I have about this machine, and any Grand Cherokee you buy that is not the Overland, Summit, or apparently a Trailhawk, you are not going to get an engine cover, which is something so weird and seems extremely petty for a manufacturer not to put an engine cover on one of these new style engines. They're not pretty to look at, so it really cleans up the look of the engine bay, but that is something that they don't have on these. But aside from that, unless I'm missing something, I really haven't had any big issues or anything to really complain about. Usually, more times than not with Jeep, if something does happen, if you're having an issue, you can just take it in, they'll take care of it, but that is if you have the time. So that's something to keep in mind. Any manufacturer that's going to make a new vehicle is going to have some issues. So with this, it's been extremely minimal, and for a newer body style, keep in mind this is a newer body style. There's a lot of technology in these they haven't used for an extremely long time. There are going to be some bugs they need to work out, but compared to other manufacturers and what you run into with their new body styles or their new cars in general, with their new motors, their new engines, everything in here that you run into seems extremely, extremely minimal. Well, guys, that's basically going to wrap up this little inside look of the 2023 Grand Cherokee Limited with the black appearance package. If you guys are interested in this vehicle in general and seeing some more content on it, please let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see some cool stuff on this, I'd be more than happy to show you. Aside from that, if you've watched some of my previous videos, you've seen I've talked about the suspension components that are going to be the biggest limiting factor in terms of adding bigger wheels and tires. Somebody did reach out to me and they said there is an aftermarket solution for it now. Just came out extremely recently. So I'm going to do a little bit of research on it. Maybe get a set of that. They're saying that it'll be a 2.5 inch lift, so it'll take it basically to the same height as the max setting on the air suspension. So with that, basically everything underneath the vehicle should be kept at proper angles. That way we don't run into any issues. And with that, we may be able to clear up to 35 inch tires, which would be extremely awesome on this machine. I'd love to see it, and I think it would be something a lot of you would like to see as well. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until next time, Godspeed.